In this video, I will demonstrate how to use Microsoft Visio to develop a recursive relationship in our conceptual data model. So what you see right here is the employee entity, and the employee entity has a primary key of employee ID, a first name, last name, middle initial, date of birth, and supervisor ID, where the supervisor ID is actually the employee ID of the supervisor instance. So what we want to be able to do for this recursive relationship is to associate that supervisor ID back to an employee ID of a separate instance. So we're going to build a relationship between one employee instance and another employee instance. So to do that, we're going to take our relationship arrow, drag that over to our diagram, and then connect each end of the relationship arrow back to the entity. And you'll see that the entity is highlighted in this red when the connection is made. And we're going to drag the other end until we see the box is red, and then we release it, and that creates our arrows. So both arrows are now connected to the entity, and it's important that both arrows are connected. You're not going to be able to build this relationship without those arrows connected to the entity. So make sure that you see that the entity is highlighted in red as you connect the arrows. So when doing that, then we'll see the definition property of their relationship, and this is where we're going to actually build the primary key to foreign key relationship. We're going to select first the parent end of this, and this is going to be our primary key, where the primary key is the employee ID. And then we're going to define the foreign key. In this case, the foreign key is going to be our supervisor ID. So under this child column, we're going to select supervisor ID, and that's going to be our foreign key. And then we're going to click on this associate button. And when we do that, we're going to see that the supervisor ID is identified as a foreign key. So when I click on the button, we go back up here and we see that our supervisor ID is now identified as a foreign key. So now our relationship would read that an employee ID is going to be associated with 01 supervisor IDs, and then a supervisor ID will be associated with 01 or many employee IDs. So this is how we use Microsoft Visio to develop a recursive relationship in our conceptual data model.